Hi guys, following on from our revision session on graphing equations, I now want to show you how to graph an inequality. Okay, so we have a mathematical statement here, y is greater than 2x plus 1, and you'll notice it's very similar to the previous video where we did y equals 2x plus 1. So this is an equation because it has an equal sign, and this is an equality because it has one of the symbols that we use when we're dealing with inequalities. So we're going to learn how to graph this. It's very, very similar to the previous one with one or two exceptions. All right, the first thing we want to do is recognize that some of these things are important. The 2 is important and the 1 is important. Remember that the 2 represents the gradient or the slope, and it must be written as a fraction. So we're just going to write this over 1 because any number over 1 has the value of itself, okay? And we want to recognize that this 1 is in the position in the formula that represents the y-intercept. So just like we needed the equation to be in the format y equals mx plus c, when we're dealing with inequalities, we need it to be in the format y is greater than or less than mx plus c. So you would have already checked that your inequality is written in the right order, okay? And it is. Obviously, at first, when I'm teaching you, I'm not going to give you any that are really difficult in back to front order. So we're all good. We've determined that this here is the gradient instructions, and that this is where the line is going to intercept y or cross over y or connect with the y-axis. Okay, great. Let's rewrite our gradient 2 over 1 and recognize that this means we're going to go up a step and across a step. Both of them are in the positive direction, which when you're looking at a graph means up, positive numbers, and across. All right, we're going to determine where the y-intercept is. Y-intercept is going to be here at the value of y being 1. And we're going to use these instructions to build our line. Now, I'm going to use a pencil. Actually, no, I'm just going to put dots for now. Sorry. All right, so we're going to go up 2 across 1, up 2 across 1, up 2 across 1, up 2 across 1, up 2, bit faint here, across 1. That's probably enough to determine that that's a line. Now, this is where I want you to stop. Okay, we have to take into consideration this symbol. Now remember, this symbol has a meaning. It means greater than. So the value could be a certain number or above. Okay, now if it had an equal sign, greater than or equal to, it could equal that number. All right, but it doesn't. So we've just got greater than. So that means the line we're going to draw is going to be a dashed line. So perhaps we will circle that information and write ourselves a little story over here. Greater than or less than is a dashed line. And greater than or equal to, less than or equal to is a solid line. So let's go ahead and put our dashed line in. I'm going to use bright pink, just hopefully it shows up on camera. So a nice big clear dashed line. Okay, and it has to go all the way through the graph. Okay, just because we haven't plotted the points down below doesn't mean you can stop. So you see how my line's gone all the way from here to here? I didn't stop here. Right, very good. So this is the line that represents y is greater than 2x plus 1. However, we also need to shade the side of the graph or the side of the line that represents greater than. All right, so let's see where it's greater than. Here's the values for y, and here's where it's greater than. Down here, it would be less than 1. Here is where it is greater than 1. So the half of the graph that we're going to, or we would shade in for this, is where it shows greater than. So it would be over here. So a little bit different to graphing a linear equation. Okay, I'm not going to colour the whole thing in, I'm just shading it. So this is a graph that represents y is greater than 2x plus 1.